When are you fighting Tom?
I was waiting for it. When are you fighting Tom? Like, governor. The UFC, and Tom, we all got a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. They're one of the biggest organizations in sports, and right now, Tom and I have agreed to.
To clarify, you said that John agreed to fight Tom, yes?
John agreed to fight Tom?
Is that what you just said there? Before, like on the last answer, you said.
John agreed to fight Tom, yes.
So but he hasn't signed the contract or anything.
Right. Yeah.
So that's
I mean, you guys have heard me for the last however long. I said, I guarantee you this fight's going to happen. This fight's going to happen. Fight's going to happen. You guys told me the crazy shit that was going on Instagram and all these other places. But yes, I've been saying John is going to fight Tom.
Finally, Jon Jones took the offer to fight Tom Aspinall after hearing the cries of the over 100,000 UFC fans who signed the petition, but he did so with a threat. The UFC heavyweight champion has been harassed, abused, and mocked for declining the match all along.
I see quite a few people in here calling me a duck. I'm a duck. Call me a duck. Call me a chicken. Call me a goat. Call me a dog. I'm not in high school anymore, guys. A grown man out here chasing his dreams. It's funny that we really live in a world where being called a duck should affect me. Guys, come on.
He feels really disrespected by how the supporters have handled the situation following his efforts in the sport. As a result, he threatened both the fans and Tom Aspinall that he would go through a full training camp for the bout in order to fully deserve his position as the best fighter in history.
Right now, and I would still be in the same place of I've beat people my whole career, and once I beat them, like the show just goes on. I get that Tom is an exciting fighter. I get that finally after 16 years we found somebody who's 7 years younger than me and 30 pounds bigger than me. Like, we finally found someone who may give me a great challenge, and everyone wants to see it so bad. But for me, it's like, what is it? What's in it for me? He changes nothing.
The heavyweight champion, who has been active on X, picked his preferred platform to convey a message to the UFC world. I'm accepting the fight. I have accepted the offer. I don't have a date yet, but it will come when I finish a full training camp. And believe me, it will be vital at the conclusion of the GOAT discussion.
Obviously, you know, this Jon Jones thing is what a lot of people are talking about. I wonder, is there anything that PFL or Francis could do to make that a realistic option for you guys, or are you fully focused on Aspinall?
Yeah, it's Aspinall's fight. I mean, we've been talking to this kid forever about it, and it's his fight.
This comes after he was insulted and criticized by his biggest UFC rival, Daniel Cormier. It's likely that Jon Jones accepted the offer following Daniel Cormier's statement. Daniel Cormier knows what he would do if he were in Jon Jones' position. DC recently found himself in his longtime rival's crosshairs again as Jones embarked on a Twitter rant in response to public criticism for not fighting UFC interim champion Tom Aspinall. Cormier and another MMA veteran, Chael Sonnen, who are ESPN celebrities and podcasters, have regularly attacked Jones for avoiding the Aspinall fight, leading Jones to tweet, "Jon Jones whooped both of y'all. But hey, why not collaborate on a podcast to gossip about his life while he's out here making your annual salary in a week? Stay occupied, boys."
Okay, so I feel like narratives have been created that just truly aren't there. You can't duck a man that you were never scheduled to fight. It's like saying you got turned down by a girl who you never even hit on. You know what I'm saying? It's like me and Dana and Hunter have never sat down and talked about Tom Aspinall. He's never been on my radar. I mean, just a moment ago, it was him and Sergey that was fighting. And Sergey could be in this position right now.
Jon Jones just won't. He pressure, just pressure, guys. He's on the pressure, and I don't even know what I did to him. Look, we did this a couple weeks ago, and I thought we were done with it, but finally, it seems as though it's reached a little bit of a boiling point. Now, there's things from both sides, and we will get into that as the video goes on.
All of this other stuff that's going on surrounding the fight you're talking about Francis Ngannou. You're talking about what Chael Cormier said on his YouTube channel. You're talking about all of this stuff while basically disregarding the important stuff. The appropriate thing to do is fight this child, and if you beat him, which is a genuine chance, you can then stick it to everyone, as you have on numerous occasions, and tell them about it. Nothing feels better for a guy like Jon Jones than beating the guy you thought was going to get him and then saying, "What did I say to you?" It's sweeter than any title or anything else you can give this man. But he has to be willing to take the risk and fight this guy.
But first and foremost, a couple weeks ago, I said to Jon Jones, go fight Tom Aspinall, leave me alone. I thought it was good. Chael and I host a podcast. Chael and I are on The Ultimate Fighter together. Chael and I are tasked with talking about the biggest news in the sports of mixed martial arts. It seems as though Jon Jones does not like being talked about by two of the biggest voices in this game.
We fought them all. Cormier went on, "I can tell you guys on good authority if I was still fighting today, and I was still the heavyweight champion and Tom Aspinall was the #1 contender, I would have already fought him 1000%, knowing how hazardous it would be throughout my fight career only added to my excitement. When I saw someone standing across the octagon who might maybe beat me or knock my skull out, that would have made me train harder, wiser, and better equipped than I could have been. That's what would have happened to me. What it's doing to Jon Jones is very disturbing, and it's difficult for me to understand because, in my opinion, he's a fighter because I've seen him do it numerous times."
Chael and I were discussing Jon Jones last week on our show. I think it was ESPN, and it prompted this. First off, it's very weird, all right, talking about yourself in the third person. It really is. But Jon tweeted this. Jon Jones whipped both of y'all. But hey, why not team up on a podcast and gossip about his life? Meanwhile, he's out here making your annual salary.
Cormier was particularly offended by Jones talking about his wealth and apparently downplaying Cormier and Sonnen's financial conditions. According to Cormier, he just had the chance to coach Jones on a reality program. Nate Diaz would subsequently assume Jones' seat, only to suddenly abandon the show after a wild altercation. And he is aware of how much Jones was likely paid for his trip to Thailand to film. That's why he can safely challenge Jones's financial claims. "I know what Jon Jones made in Thailand," Cormier explained. "I was asked to coach the show alongside Jon Jones in Thailand. Jon Jones has an amazing record. Jon Jones' CV is on par with, if not better than, anyone in the industry. Jon Jones' star power and skill to sell are similar to anyone else in the business, as is Jon Jones' capacity to draw attention."
Stay busy, boys. That's what Jon Jones wrote. I'm going to pull the curtain back for you guys. I know what Jon Jones made in Thailand. I was offered to coach this show with Jon Jones in Thailand. Jon Jones's resume is impeccable. Jon Jones's resume matches up, if not exceeds, everyone.
But guess what? Daniel Cormier's resume competes with anyone in the industry. Daniel Cormier has the eyes of a businessman. Daniel Cormier can do and get almost anything. And I'm talking like Jon Jones here. He's got me talking in third person, so all of this is real. So when they come to me and say, "Hey, I would like you to coach this show opposite Jon Jones," knowing the history, they must make a good offer that piques my curiosity. Clearly, Daniel Cormier rejected the offer, which is why he was not in Thailand. Let's say I refused that. If that money was more than I make in a year and a week with my current jobs, wouldn't I have pounced at the opportunity? Nothing would have stopped me from going for that chance. Jon Jones does not earn more money than me in a week. Jon Jones makes more money than me when he fights. That is all.
The business. Jon Jones' star power, his ability to sell, matches up with anybody in the business. Jon Jones and his ability to bring eyes matches up with anybody in the business outside of Conor McGregor. But guess what? Daniel Cormier's resume matches up with anybody in the business. Daniel Cormier brings eyes like people in the business. Daniel Cormier can do and get just about whatever. And
Cormier, like many fans, isn't even criticizing Jones for being terrified, since he thinks the light heavyweight GOAT and an all-time pound-for-pound great has a good chance of winning Aspinall, and it's only fair that Jones give Aspinall the opportunity to prove otherwise. There is always a moment when the new breed overtakes the old kind, Cormier stated. Jon Jones knows it better than anyone. Throughout his career and reign as world champion, he has regularly outperformed both the new and old breeds. He is one of the biggest champions of all time. He's beaten everyone.
You to coach this show opposite John Jones, knowing the history, they have to come with a nice offer that would pique my interest. Let's say I turn that down. If that money was more than I make in a year, in a week, with the jobs that I do, wouldn't I have jumped at that opportunity? Nothing would have stopped me from going to get that opportunity. John Jones don't make more money than me in a week.
Tom Aspinall is the guy. He's the guy. Listen, if Jones wants to retire and not fight, there's nothing you can do. Added, while I did not want Khabib Nurmagomedov to retire, I thought Daniel Cormier could have stayed longer. It's none of my business if he's saying such ridiculous things. I'll do everything I can to start a fight. I didn't understand it, and that's it for now. Stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel for the most up-to-date news, events, and actions in the boxing industry. And don't forget to switch on notifications to be informed when we post excellent material like this. Until the next time, peace out.